So I got stabbed in my ribs, couple inches away from my spine, on my both of my shoulders, and I've been shot in my elbow and also my knee. And I've been ironed in my chest.
And what, sorry?
And I've been ironed in my chest.
Ironed?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got iron marks to this day. So, I've got iron marks here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was introduced to crack cocaine and heroin. I was given a firearm. I was 11. One of them saying stab him. My first process was running. I went to school with a bulletproof vest, and in a backpack I had a shotgun. They were in a gang, they were my family. 4 a.m. in the morning I was being raided by armed police. While I was in prison, people called me the devil. They were very much like, they're going to kill your mum. If they can eye me in my stomach, what else is there for them to do? It's either us or them. This is survival, this is life or death. It was just literally an ongoing war. My name is Sosa Henkoma, and this is my story of survival. I was born in Nigeria, and at the age of 2, my mum left. When I came into the UK, I was actually 7. My stepmom and my dad were trying to have a child. And at that time, my stepmom literally found any reasons to, I'll say, blame me. First, it probably started with literally just quite abusive language. It then became more physical. She just literally was looking for reasons just to lay hands on me. At the age of 8, we went to a family member's house. I was there, happy, chilling with the other kids. When it was time to leave, I didn't want to leave. And she just said, wait till we get home. She had her heels obviously taken off, so she was just walking. And as we got to the front door of the flats, like where we buzz up and everything else, she basically turned around with her heels and literally striked me on the top of my head. I just ran. Went into a cab station, and in the cab station I ended up calling the police. And before you know it, I'm now in the social services system. After being put into my permanent placement, my foster carer, she had a nephew, which was like her older brother to me. I looked at him as a role model because he was very much like liked by everyone, very much dressed well, and he would get me trainers, clothes, whatever it was. It was very much like, oh, you're a cool guy, like, I like you. But shortly after building a relationship with him, he disappeared. He was in prison. Him going to prison, I would say, probably affected me a lot, because now it's like I don't have that safety of having him like there to guide me, help me, support me. Some kids in the park, like a bit older than me, they used to chill in the park. They wanted to use a bike and everything else. Me, I don't trust them, so I'm like, nah, you can't use my bike. Like, they then basically said, raw, like, you go, like, literally drop this off us. And it was like, okay, cool. Like, that's not a problem. The first time I went to go drop something off, it was, I'll probably say, like, literally very simple. Get out of the park, through this exit, take a left, take a right, number 11, knock on the door, boom. Bob's your uncle, literally. Everything's there.
Did you know what you were dropping off?
Nah, first day, dropped like 1 or 2 things for them. By the end of the week, I'm literally flying in and out of the park, and I was introduced to their elders. These people showing interest was the closest thing that I was ever gonna have to friendship at that time. So when the elders were asking me to go away for a day, the same thing you're doing, will grab you, take you, and then obviously you're gonna be with your friends, everything else, and you come back in the evening. To me, it's like, okay, cool, like, I'm with my friends, and I'm happy chilling with my friends. It's taken away in the morning, and on the way to the location, which was outside of London, all my friends were dropped off, and I was the only one left in the car by the time we got to the end of the location. I couldn't, even if I wanted to, like, say, okay, cool, take me home right now and everything else, I'm stuck. Like, I can't go nowhere. So it was very much like, hope, like, you know, this is quick, and then we get to go back home. Taking it to Addy's house, the person seemed out of place and very weird. Then I was introduced to crack cocaine and heroin. By the time I was told this was light and this was dark. So if someone asks for a couple light or a couple dark, you give it to the person and the person goes out of the house and they come back with money. Simple stuff. So for me now, it's like, okay, cool, like, this makes sense, like, you know? Then after that, I was introduced to banking, which is obviously concealing something inside of you through your rectum. And for me, it was like, okay, cool, this is weird. In the space of an hour being there, I was taught all of these type of things.
And how old were you?
I was 11. Shortly after that, the elders are basically saying that they need to go and they'll be back later. So for me, I'm thinking, okay, like, this was never part of the plan, but okay, cool, like, what am I gonna say now? So I waited. I listened, I took their orders where they told me, don't leave the house, give this person whatever colors that he wants, he'll bring back cash. I waited till the evening, hoping that they would come. No one came. So made phone calls and tried to get hold of them, no one answered. Then the next day come, still giving this guy colors, still getting money, and still making phone calls, no one still answering. I was in this adult's house for literally 3 days. My foster carers obviously reported me missing. So on the third day, there was a knock on the door where I thought, okay, cool, time to go home. When the addict's gone to go open the door, no one spoke. I'm thinking, okay, like, what's going on? So being intrigued, stood up, walked towards the hallway, and I saw the addict being escorted with a shotgun being pointed at him. And then as soon as the person obviously realized I'm behind the addict, started pointing the shotgun at me.
And this was a rival gang, as I
Yeah.
understand it, to the gang that you first were exploited by. Okay.
At the time, like, it was just a guy in a bandana aiming a shotgun at me. But then once the person is obviously stood on top of me, looking at me.
Who was that person?
He was my foster carer's nephew friends. So he then obviously started asking questions after taking his bandana down, like, oh, what are you doing here and everything else. And me, I'm telling him everything. He then basically said, okay, cool, boom, let's take you home. On the way back to London, I had two parcels, which was one full of food with obviously the colours, which was drugs, and another one, which was wrapped up in cling, full of cash. So I asked them, what do I do with these parcels? And they basically said to me, keep it. And at the time, I'm like to them, I don't know what to do with this other parcel, which was obviously the colours. Then they were like, okay, cool. One of them just took it off me. So I had the parcel filled with cash. Police were called as soon as I got back. Spoke to the police, and when the police were asking me questions, I've been with my friends, because to me, they're my friends. The people that took me there thought that I robbed them, so they were very much like, if we don't get our money or our stuff back, we're going to basically kill me, they're going to kill my mum, and they're going to kill my brother. For me, I looked at my foster carer's nephew's friends as like, that came into the house as my saviors and everything else. I'm going to go turn to these people because these people put me in a situation in the first place. And they basically told me that even if you gave them their drugs or their money back, they're going to kill you either way because violation doesn't slide in the world we're from. And I was given a revolver 380, which is a firearm.
Okay. And how old were you?
I was 11. I was taught how to use the firearm, how to strip the firearm, how to put it together. I was taught like, okay, keep the firearm on you 24/7. I had it on me everywhere, like even in the house. This is survival. This is life or death. Like, so for me to make sure I survive the next day, I need to make sure that my firearm is locked and loaded. After being taught that, it was then a fact of, okay, cool, go on your first trip. And I was taken to, I would say, Liverpool to basically bring down firearms for the gang. I basically came back with probably more than like 11 or 12 firearms. I would say before the age of 13, I was stabbed probably like 11 times.
By who?
I'll say rival gang members. I was stabbed a lot of times, and also I was not just introduced to obviously transporting firearms. I was also introduced to county line. I was taught how to wash drugs, how to package drugs, then how to then transport drugs. So as much as I was transporting firearms, I was also transporting drugs. The first time I was stabbed was like probably I was still 11, about to turn 12. When I was going into secondary school, I had an issue with one of the older kids, and it was a fact of he's like, oh, wait till we finish school, wait till we finish school. Finish school, I was then encountered with like a group of like old, like not so, these are not year 11s, these are now older than the year 11s, like proper grown men with beards and like proper like asking me questions. Like it then led to one of them basically saying to the year 11, oh, like bore him up, and straight away the person is obviously backed out a knife, and my first process was run. As I was running, I was stabbed a couple of times. I was stabbed on my left side of my, basically near my ribs, because I'm still running, but the person literally just kept on stabbing me. And then I basically fainted.
And did you end up in the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened after that? Did the social services get involved?
Social services was already involved, and for social services it was very much like, boom, what happened? And obviously for me already, with the type of people I was around at that moment of time, is you don't speak outside of the community. So for me it was like, I don't know what happened. Like, you know when they say there's code among thieves? Like, there's code among gangs. Like, literally. And at that time for me, they weren't a gang, they were my family. Like, they weren't just, like, when I turned to adults, and the same adults trying to ask me, oh, what happened and everything else. Like, I turned to them before, and they didn't listen. But these people always came. Like, if I called them, they came. If I asked for anything, they provided. So for me, really and truly, they weren't gangs, they were my family, they were all I had. Obviously, when I came out of the hospital after being stabbed the first time, I was awarded a bulletproof vest and a shotgun. So it was like, basically, here's your uniform, go to war. After being stabbed, probably less than 3-4 months out of the hospital, I was stabbed again. And it was just literally an ongoing war. Like, so I got stabbed in my ribs, a couple inches away from my spine, on both of my shoulders, and I've been shot in my elbow and also my knee. And I've been ironed in my chest. Yeah. I've got iron marks to this day. So, I've got iron marks here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Watching another human being literally pour iron in your chest and ask you, where's the drugs? And you're just there like blood, like what's gonna happen? You see in your mindset at that moment of time, you're thinking to yourself, raw, if they can iron me in my stomach, what else is there for them to do? For me, this was normal. Like, literally, to live like this is normal. I feel like the world I lived in a different world from the world. So the world this is the surface, but my world was underneath that. I was way underneath that. I went to school with a bulletproof vest, and in a backpack, I had a shotgun folded with literally red casings inside. When I was 13 now, a situation happened where an older had an encounter. And when they had an encounter, it then led to basically me being arrested for a firearm, a shotgun without a certificate. And also at the time, GBH with intent. I had a nickname, the devil walking on earth, from the age of 13. Like, literally, like while I was in prison, people called me the devil. But when I came out of prison when I was 16, I tried to walk away. and I try to speak to like my elders and that, and try to, you know, like I said to you, I look to them as family. Like they were my everything. So when it comes to guidance and everything else, I usually turn to my elders and ask them. So when I'm turning to my elders and telling them like, raw, like, I don't want to do this, like literally, this is mad, like. And then I remember just my older telling me that, like, we don't want problems with you. Everything's okay. Like, if you hold this firearm, like, we're good. Hold the firearm overnight. We're going to pick up tomorrow. We just can't have it in the spot that we had it in before. So for me, it was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to be a free man. Like, no beef, no issues. When it comes to rival gangs, I'm far away from them anyway. So now it's just very much like dealing with my own people so I'm able to live a peaceful life. 4 a.m. in the morning, I was being raided by armed police because they had intel that had a firearm in the house. So my elders provided information to the police that had a gun. I was sentenced 5 years. My girlfriend at that time, which is the second mother of my child, then came into prison and told me that she was going to be giving birth. So for me, it was just very much like, what type of person do I want to be in the world? So while I was in prison, my youngest daughter was born. And when she was born, I tried to do all the parenting courses. I knew what a bad parent was, but never really experienced what a good parent was. So I tried to learn how to be a good parent. I was introduced to my solicitor. She went through the NRM, which is the National Referral Mechanism of identifying survivors of modern day slavery. And it came back that I was a survivor of child criminal exploitation. And for me, it was like what? I didn't even know what that was. I came out of prison and I was also taken to Manchester into a safe house. My probation officer introduced me to a trauma advisor. And then I remember even meeting this lady. This lady was like to me very much like, oh, like, I think you got trauma. I'm thinking, you're on crack. Like, literally, me trauma. Nah, brother. It took us time to build a relationship. Us to start speaking about my experiences. It was basically, she noticed I had a scar on my knuckles. And I remember just telling her, I got scars all over my body. And she never really focused on like what the experiences was. She focused on how it affected me today. And I said to her, I sit down and told her, raw, like, I get angry. I'm very angry. I'm 24/7 angry. Like, I don't know how not to be angry. I wanted to change. My solicitor introduced me to the Human Trafficking Foundation. They were doing a course which was Train the Trainer, which is basically getting survivors to basically get trained to deliver training themselves. And that was the first time I ever got like paid legitimately, like ever. And then it was then later on I realized that something that was hard to experience has now not only became like hope for just myself, but for others. It's like, it's way more than me. So I would say that after learning that course, I started delivering training to professionals. I then became a consultant. And then even for my psychologist, I became a consultant. I recently resigned as a director to then take on a CEO role for a charity that I'm about to open. And now help others who are experiencing similar situation or maybe at risk of being exploited. As long as I'm able to shine a light in someone else's life, that's the main thing. And that's where it was, like literally, like I said, I was called the devil. Now, a lot of people, they class me as hope. For me, it's like very much like, I'm happy that I'm able to give other people hope.